Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Dear students, see, you have perhaps seen aged people in front of pilgrim centers, temples. They are sitting there in lines, expecting the pilgrims offering something in the form of money or food. See, why those people come and sit there with their begging bowls? See, some 60 or 70 years ago in India, there were extended families. Then what is meant by extended family? A family with a group of people where one could see parents, children, grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, and others. Such families were very common some 70, 60 years ago. The grandparents, the aged people had no problem in such families. There were many youngsters caring for those aged people. The sons and daughters of that aged persons were there to render their service to them. Of course, those aged people, the grandparents, were the guiding lights to the entire family. Out of their life's experience, they were capable to give proper guidance to the members of the family, not only to their sons and daughters, but also to the grandchildren. There was a kind of happiness in such families, of course. Those people used to give respect to the elderly people. But what is happening nowadays? Instead of extended families, we find nuclear families. What is meant by nuclear family? In a family, you may find parents, so that is husband and wife, and their children. Then what about the grandparents, that is parents' parents, uncles, aunts? We can't expect such big families nowadays because of the changing circumstances. Of course, it is the duty of the grown-up children to care for their parents who are aged now. But we don't find such large-hearted nature among most of the youngsters. They do not give proper care to the aged parents. See, in such cases, what happens? See, because of lack of understanding between the two generations, those aged parents may be sent to old age homes, which is actually an inhuman treatment to the aged parents. Is it not possible for these youngsters to care for them who had given their entire love and affection during their growing stage? Somehow that humaneness has disappeared now. And in some cases, the parents, the aged people, unable to tolerate the kind of atmosphere in their own houses, they go out of their houses. Many a time, such people will sit in front of the pilgrim centers, expecting some kind of help from the pilgrims, either in the form of money or in the form of food. That is really a very miserable situation that our society has created to the aged people. In such cases, it is better the society should come forward to create a beautiful environment for the aged people to live. Government should plan certain things for the care of such aged people. I have heard in some Western countries, government itself is there to care for such aged people. Here also we want the concern of the society towards these aged people. Such a thing should come. And here the writer, the poet, Arun Kolatkar, a Maharashtrian, has written a poem about such an aged woman. But here you come to know about the strange nature of that aged woman. See, Arun Kolatkar is a great poet, winner of Commonwealth Poetry Prize. He is a poet who has written poems in 2 languages, bilingual poet. Written poems in Marathi language and also in English language. Moreover, he has translated many poems from Marathi language to English. Such a wonderful contribution he has given to literature. And here this poem, An Old Woman, by Arun Kolatkar. An Old Woman. It is taken from a collection of poems of Arun Kolatkar called Jejuri. Jejuri is a collection of poems composed by Arun Kolatkar. Jejuri is a temple town in Maharashtra. And let me read the poem. Let us try to understand what he writes about that strange woman, an old woman. I read the poem first of all. Yes. An old woman grabs hold of your sleeve and tags along. She wants a 50 paise coin. She says she will take you to the horseshoe shrine. You have seen it already. She hobbles along anyway and tightens her grip on your shirt. She won't let you go. You know how old women are. They stick to you like a burr. You turn around and face her with an air of finality. You want to end the farce. When you hear her say, "What else can an old woman do on hills as wretched as these?" You look right at her, at the sky, clear through the bullet holes she has for her eyes. And as you look on, the cracks that begin around her eyes spread beyond her skin, and the hills crack, and the temples crack, and the sky falls with a plate glass clatter around the shutterproof crone who stands alone, and you are reduced to so much small change in her hand. Let me explain the poem. The poet is talking about a woman near a temple, aged woman near a temple. That woman is waiting for somebody. Let us see that she is waiting for alms from the pilgrims or something else. An old woman grabs hold of your sleeve. Your sleeve generalizes the point here. Any pilgrim who pays his visit to the temple, as soon as he approaches the temple, as soon as he comes near the temple, an old woman suddenly comes from nowhere. She holds your sleeve, the sleeve of your shirt, and tags along. What is tags along? Accompanies you. She just walks in front of you holding your sleeve. She just almost struggles to take you along with her. What is the purpose of holding your slave by that old woman? Is she begging you for something? Next stanza makes it clear. Of course, the whole poem consists of 11 stanzas. Each stanza consisting three lines. So in the first stanza, whenever the pilgrim reaches the temple, all of a sudden an old woman comes. She holds your sleeve, she seizes your sleeve, begins to walk along with you. Next line. She wants a 50 paise coin. She says she will take you to the horseshoe shrine. She wants a 50 paise coin. So the money that is expected from you is only 50 paise, neither more nor less. Of course, nowadays 50 paise coin is not in circulation. It has no value at all nowadays. But when the poet composed this poem, 50 paise had some value. And that old woman demands only 50 paise coin. Is she begging you for 50 paise? Now the other two lines are clear in this stanza. Make it clear in this stanza. She says she will take you to the horseshoe shrine. See, the name of the temple is Horseshoe Shrine. There is some description given in 98th page. It is a temple on the mountain top, on the hilltop, let us say on the hilltop. The slope of the hill is there, of course. It's a there is a horseshoe mark on the tip of that hill. Horseshoe mark, it was created by a divine horse. A mark is made. Those people in that area consider that he is a holy mark of a horse. They have built a temple around it. The pilgrims go there and offer their prayers in that temple. Here that old woman says she will take the pilgrim to that horseshoe shrine. That means to say she wants to work as a guide to this pilgrim. Unofficial pilgrim, unofficial guide here. She wants to show you the entire temple. For that service, she demands 50 paise coin. That means she is not a beggar. She is a self-respecting woman. She is aged, of course. She has found this source to earn her living in a dignified way. So, what does she demand here? Demands 50 paise coin. What purpose? What is her service? She wants to give service to the pilgrim, wants to take that pilgrim round the temple, wants to direct him, wants to show him the entire temple, wants to speak to him about the fame of the temple. So that is why she demands 50 paise coin. Then, third step. You have seen it already. She hobbles along anyway and tightens her grip on your shirt. You have seen it already. That means you are not a first-time comer to that holy place. A number of times you have already paid your visit. Every nook and corner of the temple, everything that is there is known to you. You know the story, you know the history of that temple. You don't need the guidance of this old woman now. Guide is not necessary. You have enough knowledge about the temple. The pilgrim thinks like that. She hobbles along anyway. No. Though don't need the service of this woman, she walks with difficulty. Hobbles means walks with difficulty. This old woman hobbles, walks with difficulty. She walks with difficulty and tightens her grip on your shirt. Tightens her grip. Grip means hold. She tightens her grip on your shirt. Grip means hold on your shirt. That means old woman is not ready to release you. You may say to that old woman that you know everything about the temple. But the old woman does not leave you. She just grips your shirt in a tighter way and just walks along with you with difficulty. She is not ready to lose that 50 paise coin earning. The day's earning to that old woman which will help her to live a life. That is the position. She won't let you go. Next stanza. You know how old women are. While reading this line, you must be very careful. You know how old women are. They stick to you like a burr. She won't let you go. That old woman would not loosen her grip. She holds tightly. You know, the speaker passes a remark about the nature of aged women. You know how old women are. Old women are like that. It is the nature of the old women. What is the nature of the old women? They stick to you like a burr. Burr means a seed case with hooks on the outer side of that seed case, or a flower head with pricking things. Those seed cases stick to your dress, stick to the fur of an animal. Suppose the animal walks along in such places. And here burr is used in the sense, this old woman sticks to you, old woman clutches to you like a burr clutching to your dress. Suppose you walk in that line. See, while you are walking in the cornfields, walking among the grassy fields, those seed cases with hooks on the outer side, or the flower heads with some kind of thread-like structures may stick to your dress. They may stick to the fur of the animals who walk on in that area. Like the burr sticking to your clothes, this old woman sticks to you. It is the nature of the old men. They do not lose their grips. They just want something from you. And here, what does the old woman want? She wants a 50 paise coin for her service. Without giving service, she is not ready to accept the 50 paise coin. You may be ready to give her 50 paise coin without expecting service. But that woman is not like that. Woman is a self-respecting person. She wants to accept money only after giving you service. See the lines. She won't let you go. You know how old women are. They stick to you like a burr. It is the nature of the old women. They stick to your dress. They don't loosen their grip. You turn around and face her with an air of finality. You want to end the farce. You turn around her. You just turn and look at that woman. You do not want this kind of awkward situation for farce. Awkward situation. Ridiculous situation. See, what is that awkward situation or ridiculous situation here? Just imagine yourselves, a young man, a gentleman in full suit, taking the guidance of an aged woman. Is it not ridiculous? An old woman conducting you towards the temple, is it not ridiculous? Is it not awkward? Definitely. Therefore, this young man, this young person, a man who is strong and sturdy, he wants to go to the temple himself, doesn't need the service of this woman. He just wants to free himself from the hold of that woman, offering her some 50 paise coin. But that woman is not ready to leave you. You may be ready to end the situation. You may be ready to see with an air of finality. What is air of finality? Putting an end to the things. Putting an end to the matter. Air of finality. Putting an end to the matter. See, putting an end to the matter, you may be ready to offer her 50 paise coin, but you don't expect that service from that old woman. Then what happens when you struggle to free yourself from the hold of that woman? When you hear her say, yes, at that moment when you are struggling to release yourself, by offering her 50 paise coin free, as a free gift, when you hear her say, what else can an old woman do on hills as wretched as this? See, this is the most important line in the poem. The line tells us the hopeless situation of the woman, the helplessness of that woman. What else can an old woman do on hills as wretched as this? Wretched means bad. On hills as wretched as this, unfortunate or bad. On hills like that, what else an old woman can do? That is, an old woman like her cannot do anything to earn her living except this. That is the hopeless situation of this woman. It is the only way she can earn money, she can live a dignified life. That's how she puts a question to the visitor, pilgrim. What can an old woman do on hills as wretched as these? Yes, an old woman is a helpless person. Old woman cannot do anything except working as guide to the visitors, guide to the pilgrims in that place. Thus she presents a question before him. It's a rhetoric question. Answer is not necessary. Answer is very clear. Answer is very clear. It carries a negative meaning. An old woman cannot do anything except this. Then what is the reaction of our visitor, a pilgrim? Next stanza. You look right at the sky, clear through the bullet holes she has for the eyes. And as you look on, next stanza, the cracks that begin around her eyes spread beyond her skin. So, after hearing the question of that old woman, you look right at the sky. Just begin to look at the sky. That means you are answerless to the question of that old woman. You feel a kind of pity for the state of that old woman. Who is responsible for that hopeless condition of that old woman? You begin to think. Your mind becomes a blank to give a suitable answer to that old woman. Your mind has no answer to the question. Therefore, you begin to look at the sky. You begin to look at the sky as you are answerless, as your mind is totally blank. Such is the question of that old woman. What else can an old woman do on hills as wretched as these? Wonderful sentence. Next nudi. Clear through the bullet holes she has for the eyes. Then you look at the face of the woman. Clear through the bullet holes she has for the eyes. See, when you look at the face of that old woman, you begin to see the two eyes sunken deeply in the eye sockets. eyes sunken deeply in the eyes, deep in the eye sockets. Those two eyes look like bullet holes. Look like bullet holes, so there is emptiness. You cannot read the feelings of that woman. Say, as you look at her face, as you look at her eyes, which are sunken eyes of that old woman, you cannot read the feelings of the woman. Those eyes look to you like bullet holes. So, bullet holes are just they refer to the two eyes of the woman. Bullet holes refer to the sunken eyes of the old woman. They refer to the sunken eyes of that old woman. Then what do you do? And as you look on, next stanza, the cracks that begin around her eyes spread beyond her skin. As you look on her face, the cracks that begin around her eyes, you can see the cracks around her eyes. That means folds of skin around her eyes. Aged woman, aged about some 75 or 80, you can see the folds of skin. Wrinkled skin of that old woman, and you begin to see the deeper folds of the skin on the face of that old woman. That is the age of the old woman. Definitely the visitor will feel a kind of pity for the hopeless state of that woman. Cracks begin around her eyes, they refer to the folds of the skin around her eyes. And the hills crack. Yes, while looking at them, hills crack. Hills begin to disappear, hills begin to collapse. And temples crack and the sky falls. Temples also begin to disintegrate, begin to crumble, and even the sky falls. That means actually these things won't happen. As the pilgrim looks at the eyes of the old woman seriously, all these things around this fellow, the person, the sky, the temples and the hill, they disappear from his mind. They disappear from his mind. He sees only one thing in front of him. What is that? Next stanza makes it clear. Nodi, hills crack, temples crack, and the sky falls with a plate glass clatter around the shatterproof crone who stands alone. They just scatter, Nodi, with a plate glass clatter. Suppose a sheet of glass is dropped. It breaks into pieces with a clattering sound. Like that, all those things disappear from the mind of the person looking at the face of the woman. And only one thing he sees, shatterproof crone who stands alone. Shatterproof crone. Crone means an old woman. Crone means an old woman. Crone means an old woman. Shatterproof. Shatterproof means that cannot be destroyed. That cannot be destroyed. That cannot be broken into pieces here. So only thing that stands in front of him without breaking into pieces, that is the appearance of that old woman, the face of that old woman. Only he looks at the face of that old woman standing in front of him. She is real to him, whereas the other things collapse. Perhaps an idea, perhaps a thought might have come to the speaker here. What is the use of temple, sky and other things? We must think about the condition of this old woman. Yes, the hills disappear, the temple disappear, and also the sky falls. Sky, temples and hills disappear. Only one thing that stands in front of him, that is the appearance of that old man, shatterproof crown. That cannot be broken. He looks at that. Looks at that old man. Only one thing he can see. Last stanza. And you are reduced to so much small change in her hand. You have already put that 50 paise coin in her hand. You are reduced to that 50 paise coin. That means you become irrelevant thing here. A negligible 50 paise coin. You have been reduced to 50 paise coin. Your value is that. Thus the speaker, thus the poet writes. So last stanza I read it. You are reduced to so much small change in her hand. That means your value is only 50 paise coin. Who is responsible for that hopeless condition of that old woman? Who is struggling hard even in that old age to earn her living and to live a dignified life? Is it not the society responsible? Is it not the government responsible? Yes, government is earning in terms of crores from these holy places. Why can't they spend that big amount of money for the welfare of aged people in our nation instead of spending it for the renovation of that old temples? Yes, temples are necessary, they are the places of worship. They just give some kind of solace to the hearts of the people who go to such holy places. But a part of that amount that is coming to those temples, why can't they spend it? Why can't the government spend it for the welfare of these people, aged people, instead of making them to struggle hard to earn their living in such ways? Do we want to see the begging hands in front of temples? No, we should not do that. Some arrangement should be made for the welfare of such people. That is the thought of the poet here. That is the wish of the poet. That is the expectation of the poet here. That is about the poem here. I just would like to summarize the whole poem for your benefit, dear students. Yes, Arun Kolatkar, a bilingual poet who has written poems in Marathi language and in English language, has written several collections of poems. Jejuri is one such collection of poems. Jejuri is the temple town in Maharashtra. And here in this poem, the poet writes about the hopeless condition, hopeless situation, hopeless state of an aged woman near a temple. And he says, suppose a pilgrim comes near that temple. Suddenly an old woman, aged woman comes and seizes his sleeve. She seizes the sleeve very tightly. She demands a 50 paise coin from the pilgrim. And she wants to give him a service. She wants to take him to that temple, the Horseshoe Shrine. Suppose you are a pilgrim who has already seen that. You know the temple, you know every corner of the temple. But the old woman does not lose her grips. She holds you tightly. She sees some 50 paise coin, earning a 50 paise coin. She will not loosen her grip. She sticks to you like a burr. That is the nature of old women, aged people. This is an awkward situation for a pilgrim here. Pilgrim does not want the service from an aged woman here. Pilgrim wants to see it himself. In order to end the matter with an air of finality, he wants to offer 50 paise coin to that woman, only to free himself from that woman. It is out of pity he wants to offer 50 paise coin. But old woman is not ready for that. Without giving service, she is not able to accept it. She puts a searching question to the person here, the pilgrim here. What else an old woman can an old woman do on hills wretched as these? I repeat the question, what else can an old woman do on hills wretched as these? A searching question. It has become inevitable for me to do this job. Suppose I do this, I get some money. I can live a life in a dignified way. I don't want any gift from anybody. That is the self-respecting woman's words. They are the self-respecting woman's words. On hearing this searching question, this pilgrim becomes speechless. His mind becomes blank. He just begins to look at the sky with empty mind. No ready answer to give this woman. And then he looks at the eyes of the old woman. The two eyeballs are deeply sunk in the eye sockets. Looking at the sunken eyes of that old woman, the speaker feels a kind of pity. He sees the wrinkles on the face, an aged woman with wrinkles. But can he read the thoughts of that old woman in the sunken eyes? No, he cannot. He simply pities. He may think, who is responsible for such a hopeless situation? He thinks like this. While he is seriously looking at the face of that old woman, with such sad thoughts, the sky falls, the temples crumble, and even the hill crumbles. Everything around him crumbles. That means it disappears, everything disappears from his mind, but only one woman stands in front of him. That woman is there in his mind. That shatterproof crown is standing in front of him. That shatterproof, she cannot be broken into pieces like them. That means the only thought in his mind is in the mind of the speaker, it is about the woman. While looking at the woman, he feels that he has been reduced to a valueless, a worthless ordinary 50 paisa coin. See, these words just tell us, just make us to think very seriously about the hopeless condition. The poet has written this with a purpose. Poet wants us to think about the hopeless condition of lakhs and lakhs of pilgrims in front of the temples, front of holy places all over India. Yes, crores and crores of rupees are coming to the temples as gifts from the pilgrims. Why can't the government use the same money, part of that money, at least a part of that money, for the welfare of such aged people? Is it not the responsibility of the society and the government to care for aged people? Or at least there must be some change of heart in the minds of the youths to care for their aged parents. So, responsibility is there also on the youths. Youths, instead of sending their parents, aged parents, out of their houses, instead of keeping the aged parents in some old age homes, it is the real responsibility of the youths to care for them. At least they want some crumb, a bit of food every day, of course. Then it is the responsibility of the society, responsibility of the government. It is the entire responsibility of we people. We must think in that light. We must create a beautiful environment, a conducive environment for the aged people to live a happy life in the end of their life. Those last years of the aged people should be a happy one. We should create such a beautiful environment. With these words, I conclude my talk about the poem An Old Woman by Arun Kolatkar. Thank you, students. See, I write a few sentences about the poem. Try to keep these words in your mind. Arun Kolatkar. Presents before us. A miserable situation, miserable condition, miserable state of an old woman. Near the horseshoe shrine. The old woman seizes the sleeve of any pilgrim to that place. And wants to guide you guide him for 50 paise coin. Third, if you try to free yourself, offering her 50 paise coin, she asks a searching question. What else can an old woman do? On hills as wretched as these, full stop. You become answerless. Full stop. You look at her, sunken eyes, everything around you disappears. Except the unfortunate old woman. Full stop. You feel that you are reduced to that ordinary 50 paise coin. Full stop. Something must be done. Must be done to care for such aged people. Yes, I read it. Arun Kolatkar presents before us a miserable state of an old woman near the horseshoe shrine. The old woman seizes the sleeve of any pilgrim to that place and wants to guide him to the temple. Guide him to the temple for horseshoe shrine for 50 paise coin. If you try to free yourself offering her 50 paise coin, she asks a searching question, what else can an old woman do on hills as wretched as these? You become answerless. You look at her sunken eyes. Everything around you disappears except the unfortunate old woman. You feel that you are reduced to that ordinary 50 paise coin. Something must be done to care for such aged people. So these lines would be enough for you to understand the poem. Read the poem again and again, try to understand it, and try to think of proper solution to the aged people. So it is up to you. That's all. Thank you about this.